Welcome, Natasha Lyonne.
Thanks.
You're all warmed up. You're ready for this, huh?
Good.
What's the haps?
You know, just checking my cell phone, seeing what happened.
Yeah.
I got a banana.
Yeah.
And just living my life. How you doing?
I'm good. I don't have a banana, but
I give you half a banana. I mean, if that's what this is about.
I don't want to take it away from you.
You don't want to have a piece of my banana.
I want to make sure that you are nourished.
Thank you.
Like I'm a giver, though.
Really?
No, not at all. Not at all. Are you?
A little bit. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not as tough as I think I am. You know what, Planko? I don't think I'm actually going to end up eating the fruit cup because of all the hair.
There's hair in your fruit cup?
I'm going to go ahead and toss it, okay? Because this is our last interview, so I don't feel like we're going to need it. Like, we don't need to hold on to it like the worst.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't like
sugar up.
Being wasteful. You know what I mean? It's not my favorite, but I just feel like, come on.
There's hair in it? Is it your hair?
No. And that's part of why I wasn't into it. But
Yeah.
I'm going to level with you. When it comes to like hair in food, even if it is my own hair, I'm not like thrilled about it. I'm not like, fuck it, it's mine. I'm like, it's still making me sick.
Yeah.
And quickly. It's amazing how quickly it'll make you sick.
And you don't even, because it's like the realization that it's been handled. It's somebody else's DNA. Like, it's just,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like we're all connected, blah, 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 but I don't want your fucking hair in my food.
You don't want to be that connected to people.
I don't want to be that connected.
Because we also need our individual space, don't we?
Yeah, and like to me, individual space looks like don't put your hair in my food.
Yeah, let me ingest this. This is going inside my body.
But bottom line, like reality check.
Right.
There is so much. I mean, there are so many nauseating things.
Like what?
In our food. I just mean like roach resin, and I don't mean for you're look at you, you're a pot smoker.
Right.
I mean like cockroach.
Especially in New York.
Okay. There is fucking
cockroaches.
in everything you are eating.
Yeah.
And just like come to terms with it.
Yeah.
Because you're just doing nothing but eating cockroaches.
But if you saw cockroach legs in your food, you wouldn't eat it. Like the visualization of everything that's gone wrong is where
I hate cockroaches.
I know
you
do.
Crazy?
Yeah.
I would never eat I would never go anywhere near, like, if you were like, oh, come be on my Survivor show, whatever. I'd be like, no. I'm not going on your Survivor show. I don't want to eat a cockroach.
No.
And yet, what do? I choose to live in New York City, the Big Apple.
The cockroach
They should call it
capital.
the Big Cockroach.
Yeah, they should.
They should rename the city the Giant Cockroach.
And I park next to a grocery store in the middle of Manhattan. And every morning, I'm up early, so I walk to work it's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wait, where do you live?
I live in Westchester. But every morning, I see a whole bunch of rats scurrying across all outside this supermarket.
Let's talk about the rats.
Yeah.
The rats are out of control.
Out of control.
I mean, the rats are running the city.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who's in charge of the city.
Tell me.
The rats, the cockroaches, and the bedbugs.
And
okay, those are the three political parties in this city.
Don't bring up the bedbugs.
Everybody, that's who runs Manhattan.
Right.
You can pretend. Okay, they're like the bottom line is like you may think, oh, like, look at me, I'm so rich, I live on Park Avenue.
I was just thinking that.
You have no control over your life.
You don't.
Let me tell you who controls your life.
Who?
I just told you.
Oh, right, the bedbugs and the cockroaches.
And the rats.
Goddamn de Blasio.
You know
He's done
I mean?
nothing about any of it. What are you going to do?
I remember the Dinkins days. Those were the days.
Those were the days. Well,
those were the days.
Do you think, would you rather have criminals than cockroaches, though?
Would I rather have criminals than cockroaches?
Criminals are probably easier to avoid.
I mean, I just feel like, I listen.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in any sort of dangerous situation.
No.
That said, just looking back at the course of my life.
Yes.
I feel like, in my experience, I preferred spending time with criminals over cockroaches. I mean, there's just...
Have cockroaches always grossed you out? Or when you were...
I've always hated cockroaches.
Okay, so even when you were fine dealing with criminals and living in the underbelly of the city... Yeah. You still didn't like the cockroaches.
I remember I would be in some seedy scenes.
Yeah.
And there was heavy grown-up R-rated drug use happening.
Yeah, so...
And I would see little tiny cockroaches crawling on the walls. And I was like... Ew, cockroaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just not even paying attention to your life falling apart. Just be like, cockroaches.
Life falling apart? Look at the cockroaches. Right. No, I mean, obviously, those are very heavy times.
Yeah. It's because that's what I'm saying, because of the roaches.
No, I mean, it's just... I'll tell you what was so heavy about it.
Tell me.
I mean, not only was it like a crazy time in my life, but there were cockroaches in it.
Right.
Like,
And that's the part that everybody ignores.
No, I mean, seriously, like the fact that it was so dark, that it was such a low point in my life that I was willing to spend that much time with that many cockroaches indicates to me just how heavy of a time it was.
Do you look back, seriously, on that period in your life? Like right now, you're a person who throws out a fruit salad because there was a hair in it. Mm-hmm. Do you look back and be like, I don't even understand who that person was or what that person thought she was doing?
You know, I mean, it's not like I was like eating hairy food back then. I was just really high.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That said, I mean, it is that thing where it's getting to be, long. I'm going to save those protein bars. It is getting to be.
No hair on them.
All right, let's not go nuts. I mean, I know this show's a hit, but I'm saving those protein bars. It is getting to be sort of like long enough that I'm a bit like holy, like I can't believe that was me. Like I just like it's so crazy. Because also things will happen. And it'll be like, like bath salts or like crocodile. Have you heard about crocodile?
I don't know what crocodile is.
It's this crazy, terrifying drug that's like sweeping Russia that basically like as soon as you shoot it up, it's like your arm falls off. It gets like gangrene and it's like so intense.
Is that where the croc part comes in?
Yeah, they call it crocodile as in crocodile because their flesh turns into
It sounded like a very uncomfortable sex toy.
Okay. I would imagine having a gangrenous arm inside of you would be. And it is such a... It's terrifying, but it's like that thing of like remembering that like once upon a time, I'm sure if somebody was like, oh, you should try these. They're like bath salts. You may eat someone's face, but like whatever. It's like, you know what I mean? It'll get you really fucked up. I would have been like, oh, cool. Let me try those bath salts.
Right, right.
And like,
yeah.
And that's crazy to me that I would be, because like now I like am, you know what I mean? Like several years later, a bunch of years later, I'm somebody who like opens the New York Post and I'm like, bath salts? Are they crazy? These children are insane.
These kids, what are they
doing? What do they think of next? That's craziness. Like, who has a bath salt and then eats a guy's face off?
Right.
What kind of a maniac? It's like The Walking Dead, these crazy. And so I just feel like that is, symbolic of a big...
transition.
This happened. That's
a major transition.
That's how I knew I was in a different chapter of my life when I was like saw the bath salt face and was like, ew, instead of like, where do I get some?
So like, so like right now, if I was like, seriously, Natasha, I got bath salts. If you want to, you'd be like, are you crazy?
Yeah, I'd be like, what do you mean, like aromatherapy? I would. I was like. Actually, last night I took a bath and I put some Epsom salts in because I'm 1,000. I just like getting a big bag of Epsom salts. It's very cumbersome to carry home.
A giant bag of Epsom salts.
Epsom salts is so cumbersome.
I would imagine.
And then you just like you try to dump them in and then you end up with the entire.
Oh, the problems you have to deal with.
I don't want to be
unbelievable.
My life is so hard or whatever. But we all have our problems.
Yeah, how the Daily News hasn't picked up on your Epsom salt problem yet is beyond me.
Anyway, I don't even remember the point of my story. It's just bath salts.
Enjoying a nice bath with what you thought were bath salts.
Yeah, but I mean, just to be really clear about it, if you offered me some bath salts, like right here, right now, I would say no.
All right, well, good.
That's where I'm at in my life.
Then I won't embarrass myself.
Yeah. Like, I'm happy you're doing them. You seem to be doing fine. Right. I guess it's working for you. I don't want to tell you what to do with your life.
Live and let live.
You know what I mean? Like, you fucking figure your own shit out. You know what I mean?
Right. Because obviously I could come out of it. Mm-hmm. I could come out shining. Now,
what you don't want to do is get a murder rap. Just heads up.
No.
No, what I mean, seriously, like, if you're going to eat someone's face off, like, that's where that can become, like, permanent trouble.
Do you think about your past, how close you were to being in permanent trouble like that? Like to being in jail or to getting a murder rap or whatever it is?
I don't know. I was so into drugs.
Yeah.
I wasn't like really at that time, like, it wasn't really about like sex and it wasn't really about like murder. Like that came later for me.
It did. Once you sobered
I wasn't like really, like I wasn't, a criminal so much as a drug addict. So I don't feel like I was ever really, what's so wild to me about drugs versus alcohol is how many people that are also like, at least like a drug addict is really, oftentimes like wearing it on their sleeve and you're like, oh, that person is really fucked up. Like, but the idea that it's just, you're a congressman or whatever and, so you're clearly deranged. No, but I mean, you're a congressman or whatever and you're, that drinking is like, you're actually getting behind like the wheel of a car,
right,
and could potentially just fucking really kill somebody, like really easily. And so it's so crazy that one is like such, hard drugs. Ultimately, really, you're the one that's most likely to die in that situation.
Yeah, I would imagine that you weren't much of a threat to other people.
Well, I mean, their hearts. And also, I would say that, no, seriously, it was horrible. And I would say, though, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm so high, I'm going to go driving.
You're right.
Also, probably because I was a city kid, which is lucky.
Right.
Anyway, any other questions?
You just find a comfortable place to be high in, and that was your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, the point is, I've never been close to murdering anyone.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, I just, I've not had a lot of murder.
The drinking, and that's good.
I feel good. I'm like grateful for that.
That's one of the things that you think about. You look at yourself in the mirror and go, I haven't murdered not one person.
Not only that, but like I haven't even like almost murdered.
Right. Attempted?
One time I held a pillow over a lover's face.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just according to them.
Right. And you removed it at a safe time. Everything was fine.
They woke up, I took away the pillow. And I was like, oh, hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
That's a true story.
Sunshine. Is it? Mm-hmm. Wow. You're a dangerous person. What I was going to ask was, when you get clean...
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to talk about drugs the whole time?
No. I want to talk about, we're transitioning into getting clean.
Okay.
Because so much had been written about, I mean, everybody knows everything that happened to you. And while it was happening to you, everybody was writing about you. So I wonder, when you're done with this, and you know it's out of your life, does any part of you say, I'm not going to be a public figure, I'm going to leave acting, I'm going to leave all this?
Well, that is what I did.
But you're back.
Now it's been a minute.
So did you know
I took a nice healthy break, I would say.
So you're saying...
I feel like I didn't work for 5 years.
And you were like, I got to take a break from all this, and then when I'm ready to come back, I'll be back. Or just...
Yes, I felt, and I feel very strongly that it's a wise idea for, young folk that are struggling, or anyone that's struggling, to really take a break and, take a couple of years to really get, healthy.
Sort yourself. So now you got Orange is the New Black, which is... Did you know when you signed up for one of the first Netflix original shows, did you have any idea that it was going to work? Because I would think that even you read the script and you're like, this is actually a good show. You still don't know if anybody's going to watch it because it's untested, right?
I do think that what we had is we had Genji, who had created Weeds, and so there was some real hard evidence to support how great it was on the page. It did not feel like, some who knows what this thing is going to be. It felt much more like something, as soon as you read it, it was like instantly really special. It really jumped off the page. I remember emailing it, illegally. That's the sort of criminal I am, to other actress friends. And I was like, oh my God, we got to be on this thing. It's so great. And
did any of them make it on?
No.
Oh, just you. So you're like, we all got to do this. And okay, well, I'll do it by myself.
Actually, two of my friends that I did email it to were offered parts in the show, but I'm not going to say who they were, and they both turned it down.
Why they turned it down?
Because probably for those reasons. Because
they didn't know.
Yeah, just because it was sort of like an unknown.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to go into what part or what happened, But I mean, it really, I think people just knew it was an exceptional piece of writing. I think as like an actor, it's like you're so desperate to try and find something good, something original you want to be a part of, something that's like, you're really hungry for anything that might be telling the truth at least a little, let alone something like this show. So I do think that most people were just excited about the role, and it kind of is like, I mean, it's like if a pal told me they were going to shoot a movie on their iPhone and I read the script and it was like, blew me away. Be a very different situation than just like, I don't know, we're just going to wing it. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what this was. Right. It was like, oh, like, holy shit, these are some real heavy hitters. And I was coming off of, Genji had just had me on the Weeds finale, which was with the same director, Michael Trim, who directed the pilot. And so it was like, with the same woman, Lisa Vineker, who kind of runs our set in, New York on Orange. And so it was like, I was also having this firsthand experience of like how incredible this team was, and I was like really like eager to be on the show, and
do something good. Now does it fuck with your confidence when your friends start being like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it.
I mean, looking back, it did. It felt a little bit like, wait, why aren't you guys gonna? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because this thing is so good, and like, also, I think it was like they got offered parts sort of midway through, and so it was a little bit like I already knew that we were, you know what I mean? But it's that thing of nobody knows until
they know.
Bottom line, everybody knows this is nowhere. You know what I mean? It's like they always say, everybody knows this is nowhere.
Right. You know what doesn't get enough credit? I don't think doesn't get brought up enough. I love that, but I'm a cheerleader movie.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's a great movie. Are there any? I find that when I think about roles that you've done, especially ones that stick out, you tend to play characters that are two things: very sexual, very wise. Do you like that? Is that accurate? Would you say?
I would say that the wisdom lives here. And
that's right.
Everybody knows that.
Right.
So it's like I like to think of this as the oracle.
Right. Point to a crotch for those at home who didn't know.
No, I did not. All right, I motioned in the general area.
Oh.
And it was towards my soul.
I read that totally wrong.
Which was, my soul is lives low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do I play sexual characters? I never think I play sexual characters.
Well, I think so. I mean, you think the American Pie character is very sexual, right?
I guess they talk about sex a lot.
That's what I mean. And I mean, Orange is the New Black, you're going down on girls all the time.
Am I? I remember that they always put Vaseline on my face, but I haven't seen the show, so I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, it's constant. But it's a good character. But
you're a guy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, and what are you married?
I am married.
Yeah, clock that. And so when you're going down on your wife,
yes.
do you end up with a lot of, like, Vaseline on your face?
It's not.
Whenever we shoot in the prison.
Oh, you mean like they put Vaseline so you can, like, wipe
mimic, like, you know what I mean? Like, the juice of a woman?
Well, I mean.
And I'm just asking because, like, you probably have more experience than I do in actually, like, being in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sort of, like, winging it and just trusting that when you get down there, like, Vaseline appears.
Well, usually I don't.
Is there actually, like, speaking as a woman, I don't actually have like a jar of Vaseline inside me at
You
the times.
don't.
At least I don't feel that way.
Right.
And that's why I'm wondering, do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Do you feel like, does your face get really, really super shiny?
Well, I don't know if it's quite that shiny. And also, I think Vaseline might be a bit viscous. If you know what I mean. Like, I don't think there's that waxiness.
Okay, it's just a regular night at home with you and your wife. Okay, you guys, you snort some bath salts. Okay,
right,
next thing you know, you're going down on her.
Obviously.
Is there a face full of petroleum jelly on you as soon as the activity is complete?
Well, as long as there's bath salts, of course, but the petroleum jelly starts there.
Yeah.
But no, but if you're doing it right, there is a residue. I think there needs to be something, you know? If you,
I like the way you just stood up for that.
Yeah.
I like the way you did that.
Yeah. If you,
I found that sexy.
If you were to come out of your scenario, right? If you were going down on a woman on the show,
okay,
and there was no residue on your face, you'd probably not be very good at what you were doing.
Thank you.
Right? So I think it's important that the producers put some, I mean, maybe.
Always keep the focus on the work.
Right. And that's right. You have to get lost in that character. And when you're coming out and you have a dry face, you're like, I feel like Natasha right now.
I don't want to tell you a series of lies. What am I even in this for?
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to tell you the truth.
We're on the same page right now.
You know what I mean?
It's amazing. Was it, how was it working with Jason Biggs again?
I really love Jason Biggs.
You do?
I'm a big fan. Yeah. I think he's very funny. And I just think it's a real intense sort of tragedy. I mean, he's not a Jew, and I'm fascinated by that. I'm just fascinated.
He does seem very.
I mean, never in my life have I met a more seemingly Jewier person, and I think we could all learn a lot from that lesson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we're probably going around all day being like, look at that Jew.
Right.
And in fact.
I always say, oh, Jason Biggs. Oh, you mean the Jew from American Pie? Yes.
And that's not him. You're probably referring to Eugene Levy.
Right. That's right. And you're right. And we learn about stereotypes.
Or Eddie K. Thomas.
We learn about stereotypes.
It'd be a fun game to play. Name that Jew from American Pie. Yes. That's a game we could play at another occasion.
It's something that you could bring home with all your friends. Well, listen. Orange is the New Black is on Netflix right now. Are you the type of person in your movies? Do you look at numbers? Do you look at box office? Are you that type of person?
I don't think I've really been in like a lot of situations that like call for that, though I plan to. Like
that's the game plan moving forward.
But like I'm not like, oh my god, I'm so ambitious. But like, yeah, like I'm gonna work with like Tom Cruise, like,
right.
and I'm gonna like.
Well, the world's got to end again, and they're gonna have to make a movie about
next
it.
time the world ends, I'm there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm gonna be like cut, and I'm there. And now I'm slowly feeling like that's never going to happen, and I've never really like stopped to accept that reality in my life. Like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
At some point, a big action movie is going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
And when it does, I'm going to look at the box office. I mean, I have not had a lot of reason in my career thus far to be obsessive about, you know what I mean? Like box office, because it's usually like when you make an independent movie, what happens is it's like, either it's good and it goes to festivals and then like it kind of comes out and then that's great. Maybe it gets like even some awards attention or something and it's really cool. And so by the time it's gotten there, it's, you know, most likely made its money back. And, you know, but it's rarely is it going to be like insane, you know? And if it's not that good, it sort of like disappears into the ether and you never really hear about it again. And, then the only time I've really been in one of those other kinds of movies is like American Pie, which is fun, but just sort of like random. I mean, I didn't feel like it was like my movie more than someone else's or anything. You know.
So when Orange is the New Black doesn't have numbers to report on, you're not sitting there like waiting for the weekly ratings or something. You're just like, oh, people say they like it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that's mostly been my experience of showbiz. I have not had a lot of like, if this thing doesn't get the numbers, it's dead. And that is a lot of how this business works. Clearly, you can even tell by the way I'm talking about it, that sounds like I'm talking about something imaginary. There's like a bunch of like leprechauns in a room being like, if we don't get these numbers, it's dead.
Right.
And so I think that's what happens. But I have no idea what I'm
I mean, I think that's a room full of Freemasons and secret society
What's that movie
people
with Peter O'Toole about Sid Caesar?
I have no idea.
Year. Shit.
I'm not the cinephile you thought I was.
Come on. What?
My favorite year?
My favorite year. Sarah Planko, ladies and gentlemen.
I never would. Thank God for you, Sarah.
My favorite year. Excellent movie. But I feel like, you know what I mean? In my mind, it kind of like, that's what like showbiz looks like. It's like a bunch of like people running around a studio, like kind of like yelling about numbers. I don't know.
You've been in the business forever. You have no idea how it works. Not a clue.
I've been in this business so long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not a clue. Well, I have a clue how it works.
Your mama is so fat, I don't even know what's happening.
When she sits around the house, she sits around the house. Orange is the New Black is now on Netflix.
Bottom line, we have excellent numbers, and that should be the takeaway from this, okay?
If you're not subscribed to Netflix, go subscribe and tell them Natasha Lyonne sent you. And then
for a special discount coupon.
Right. And then, you know, then she'll be successful.
Ring, who's that? Ted Sarandos. Oh, I'm really sorry about that ad I put out. I'm really, really sorry. What are you going to do?
You are a delight, Natasha. Thank you so much for
as
being
are
here.
you. Okay.